All right, so officially, welcome to everyone. This is the Power of 52, 2022. So that's the year that we're going to impact. And I am coining it as the year of awakening. I know that for the first session, there were a couple of questions around, what was that really about? I attempted to take that first session and then come back and answer some questions that weren't answered during that time. So the project itself was thought of in my head or envisioned behind having a large group of women in a publication where we could either highlight or feature ourselves by having bios inside, or a story behind maybe a foundation or a nonprofit that you support, or about your business, either of those things. But the idea was to bring them to light, to put a spotlight on them, and to have them exposed to as many people as possible. So the concept of doing a book was kind of difficult because the topics will vary so much. So it was coming up with a common theme was the easy part, actually, that happened by default, and that was the awakening. And so the year of the awakening just flowed in because it's an act or a moment in which somebody has a realization. But for us, we're hoping to have people have a realization 365 days next year by bringing 52 women together in a publication. So not just an anthology with 20 people, and not to undermine or undercut an anthology, but not just an anthology. This is where we get to feature ourselves the way that we want to be seen. And then to do it with 51 other women that will help us, and to create a community that we can carry through with next year. So I'm gonna say that that's my initial vision with this, and it has worked its way through several different renditions throughout this year. It really took 9 months to birth this baby. Working with Enisha with the magazine when it was Ellese & Co., as well as under Black Women Mean Business, of course, gives us a publisher that is world class. There are no bars held with her work, and we're going to hear from her in just a moment. But of course, this became, how many people can we touch? How many different industries can we tap into and have represented in this book? How many cultures, and then how many countries? So we are right now putting together and making the asks of some women that are already there. And they will help carry the distribution, of course, and the awareness of, one, the project, and then the publication itself. So Jasmin, I want to let you interject here. This is being presented by the operator, me, and then it is also being powered by Social Climber Society, which is Jazz's baby that I nudged my way into. But Jasmin, if you can go ahead and tell them a little bit more about you. I believe everybody here knows you, but necessarily on this part of it, why you said yes to this project.
Yeah, thank you. So Jasmin from Becoming J and Build Your Strong Plus. So most of you know me from that brand, which is the Body Positive Health and Wellness brand, where I help women learn how to modify exercise to fit their bodies so that they can reach their goals without guilt or the shame of diet culture. What some of you might not know is that I grew my brand organically, over 150,000 connections with no ads, with no bots, no bot followers, all organic engagement. And from there was birthed Social Climber Society, where I teach other entrepreneurs and content creators how to do the same. And so when Staci brought this idea to me, it was there was just absolutely no question for me about whether or not this was a good idea and if I wanted to be a part of it. Um, some of you know that we did an event together at the beginning of 2020, Dear Skinny Friend Live, and that was birthed out of wanting a stage and needing a stage and not necessarily being given the stage. And so my motto became, if they're not giving you a seat at the table, build your own damn table. And this is what I felt about this project. There are so many women doing amazing things, spearheading amazing projects and working with phenomenal organizations and, touching lives and changing lives, but still aren't necessarily getting the platforms to showcase themselves, or the people that they're working with, the projects, the industries, and all of the things. And so this to me was just an opportunity to build that table and to give everybody a platform to be heard and seen and to represent themselves in the best way possible. And so it kind of reminded me of like a who's who of powerful women, or Essence had the table book many years ago, like the table book magazine, filled with powerful women. And I thought, if we can come together and build that out in a space that not only highlighted us, but then also helped to propel our businesses in another way, what better way to do that? And so it became just a no-brainer, and another part of what social climbing means, right? To give yourself that platform, to take a stand on that platform, and to shine a light on everything that's happening. So I'm so excited about this project and being able to work with all the amazing women that are taking part in it. And I hope to see many of your faces, honestly, all of your faces, because every last one of you that are on here are just mind-blowing and amazing. So that is that.
All right, so thank you for that. And so you talk about good timing. So thank you and welcome to the people that have come in since the beginning of the introduction, where we opened up, and we're still talking about the project itself. There are more details to come, so we're not there, but making sure we introduce you to ourselves, the people that are going to be spearheading this project. It is a real undertaking. I have watched some book collaborations be put together over 6 months in time with maybe 15 women, and the work that went behind that. And we're here to tell you, we're here to put in the work with you all. Just an honor to be able to put this project together, and with some very reliable and passionate people that, I don't know, it just, this is not just a passion. This is definitely, there's a purpose to it. And I believe that for every person that's going to be a part of this, we are going to put all of our strategies behind this. So my marketing strategies, online and offline, and then you've just heard from Jasmin with the social media strategies and the influence there. And so now the third part of the triangle is here, and this is your publisher, who is a power partner and a biz bestie, and just a good old friend. For those of you that saw the post that I put out, and it was actually instigated by Jasmin, but what do you consider a really good friend to be? Like, just, so here is number 2. And so our publisher, our fearless leader here, from Ellese & Co. Creative Services, it is Enisha Ligon-Garrett.
Well, hey, everyone. I am super excited to be here. I just finished eating a sandwich, so making sure I don't have any pesto, because it was a good sandwich on my face. But, I love these kinds of projects because it's what we do every day with our publication BWMB, where we're really showcasing and wanting to put on a pedestal women and their platforms and what they stand for. And, you know, as I had mentioned to Staci when she asked me to be a part of this, it was a resounding yes, of course. Let's just figure it out. Let's make it work and do all the things, because it's really about us collectively. Because, you know, the women who become part of this power of 52, I love the word power, right? Because now it's exponential, right? Each one of us are going to then go out and champion the next, right? So it's not just the power of the producers of this and the internal power partners. It's going to be, now we get to amplify all the voices, right? Because Gia is going to go out there and share it with her audience, and Sherry's going to share it with her audience, and Tiffany and Renee and Delmar and Alicia. And you think about that, that is just amplified and exponentially going to grow each person's reach and their thought leadership. So that's really why I'm so excited to be part of this. I mean, we all know all the things. You have consummate professionals here on the team. So it's going to look fantastic. It's going to be a great experience. We can check those boxes. But really what's going to happen is the magic when this gets out into the world and we start sharing these voices and we start making relationships with each other and saying, oh my God, I didn't know Sherry did that. That's so amazing. You know, how do I be part of your ecosystem now? So it's going to be not only those big exponential connections where, you know, you're going to get more people are going to click on your Instagram and, you know, jump in your DMs and say, girl, you look fantastic in the magazine. But it's going to be those little internal magic moments that you really just you can't put a price tag on that. You know, you cannot put the value of those kinds of connections. So yeah, so that's my spiel. I'm super excited to be a part of this and be part of that amplification of the voices.
Thanks so much. All right, so now you all have seen the people behind the scenes, the presenter, the powered by, and the publisher. And so now question is, what am I getting into? What are we doing? If it's not just an anthology, what is this thing? So I'm going to go through the elements or deliverables, for some of you familiar with that term, of what we're including in this project. And then Jasmin kind of keep an eye and ear out. So if there's anything that I've missed, that we can get that caught. So the first thing is, what is it? It is actually going to be a book. It is going to look more like a magazine because Enisha is a part of it. Of course, we're talking about full color pages that are going into this. It is 6x9, and each one of the women will have a 2-page color spread. So we're not talking about yellow or white gritty pieces of paper that give me the heebie-jeebies, because they do give me the heebie-jeebies, but we're talking about a layout. You know, when I think about Michelle Obama's book, it's just not going to be hardbound, but that type of concept and feel. So that's the look. What are you including in that 2-page spread? We're asking for a long form bio in there. And then there were questions on Friday about, okay, so if it's a bio, what is, you know, why is it our bio? And Jasmin touched on that. If you were familiar with Who's Who, and I was a Who's Who back in the day, I said, I'm going to have to dig that up now and see where that is. But the Who's Who, or the Essence Table book, or as some of you may have seen Yolinda's post, and she mentioned, it is the, let me see, I tried to grab it, Think Humans of New York. So she said, Think Humans of New York meets Essence, Who's Who, and then you have the Power of 52. So I like that. I like that. And I'm not even familiar with those. But that concept. Then we're talking about, so the bio would be you, right? Most of us already have a long bio that's written out, and this would be the time to really customize that, to go in, curate it, get it edited, and to have the story of a lifetime that's going to represent you, whether it's your personal brand, whether you're incorporating all of your accolades, your recognitions, but it's supposed to represent you. So if you had one shot to put yourself in front of a person that you've wanted to speak with, or podcasts that you wanted to interview, this is your opportunity to put that down in this magazine and to be seen. Someone asked, can they shift it slightly to be more of a story-ish if they don't have a long bio because the accolades are not there? Then yes, just make sure that you're getting that worked through. And of course, we're going to have an editor on our side, but the quicker the process will be determined by how these deliverables come in and if they're ready to process. So if they're already edited, we can look at them and say, hey, yeah, for that, we're looking for 300 to 500 words with that. And I'm glad that the publisher's on here, so she can also make any corrections to these deliverables. With that, you'll have a title. So your title is going to be listed on there. And then we would like for you to also submit a quote. So depending on the layout, depending on the number of words, and then depending on this next thing that I'm going to mention, that will determine, if a quote is going to be used on the page, but it also may be used on social media as we put together the promo information. Those will be those little drips out there to tell people a little bit about what's going to be included in this particular book. So that quotable. The next item that goes on the page is obviously photos. We didn't do it in all color for no reason. Photos, and the photos are so important. I have been browbeat. I have been on the scenes, behind the scenes, with my hands in the work, and then watching her with these master classes. So 300 DPI resolution or better. That's a non-negotiable. So if it comes in and it absolutely looks like a selfie, or you're missing body parts, then it's going to go back. You'll get an email or a text message that says, hey, we need this photo replaced. We're looking for 3 to 5 photos. Optimally looking for a headshot, clean headshot, as face on as possible. We're looking for a full body. That is all body parts. And I'm telling you, she will catch elbow out, hairs out the top. If it's clipped off at the top of your head, one leg is seen and one leg is not. Full body is full body. And then the next one, of course, something lifestyle that relates to your bio or the content that you're putting in there. But 3 to 5 photos so that there's something to work with, so her and her team can make sure that they're putting the best pictures forward in representation of the content that's on the page. Enisha, is that pretty good? Have you trained me well up?
This is my proud mama face.
Yay.
That was absolutely spot on. And I think the really cool thing is you'll get all of this in writing, right? So, and you'll have the team here to hold your hand. So there's not a big fear factor here. We'll be getting your intake, and then, someone on the team will review it and then provide you with, detailed feedback if there are any deficiencies. And so the word count will be outlined, because we want to look at the actual layout and say, okay, well, you know what, maybe we can give them an extra 50 words. So let's go ahead and put those 2 extra accolades in there, and things like that. But we'll stay very close to the 52 ladies with, supporting them through this process.
Thank you so much, publisher. All right. Also, we are collecting your social handles. And so depending on the layout, you'll see on the intake form, I have collected several. One of the reasons why is to allow people that may not be on the standard platforms that we normally list, IG and Facebook, that are on other platforms, to be able to have those on there. We'll probably represent 3 of them on your the layout. But just so that I can collect them and it doesn't look like one person is only present on one platform when really they're present on 5. It's just not the ones that we standardly use. So if there is one that we did not list and there's a standard icon for it, then let us know in the notes on the intake form and I'll see if I can get that added. But there is everything from Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Clubhouse, Facebook group, Clubhouse Club, and some of this will be used outside for other marketing purposes too. LinkedIn, and I even added Pinterest because Pinterest is on its way up. And with this being a visual project, if we end up crossing somebody that wants to play in Pinterest, we're definitely going to go over to that house and play. So I did list Pinterest as well. Your website will be listed on there, of course, and make sure that it is your base website to your brand, to your personal brand or your business brand, not a link to an opt-in. You want your basic domain. In addition to that, we are going to have space to put a QR code, which I want to mention should be an evergreen offer. And the best way to represent this is to do a Linktree type form. That way, whether it's Linktree, SocioTap, something you build out a landing page so that you can change the information on that page without having to contact us and say, hey, I need to change this, or this is my new promo. So that's the best way to do it because you can change that information all the time. Then from there, that same information, not the bio, because we're now going to ask for a different format, but that information will go to a landing page. So you will have representation on a landing page for those people that were part of Activate Your Vision. You're familiar, you had your own page, your bio was on there, your picture, and then links to your social handles and your website. And in this case, you'll have the QR code as well. But this will be the landing page. And then for this is your short bio. So if you've done the story-ish type thing for the long form, then this is the strict about you. This is going to be where I know that it's going to come, where people are going to say there's 52 women in one place that I can go look, do I need somebody for a podcast series? Do I need a speaker for a summit? Do I need an MC? Do I need, this is going to become that. And so there will also be a directory with it. We'll get that broken out based on, the entries that go in, but there'll be a breakout for that. So there'll be a directory, and we're just putting forward now that there's going to be power in this 52 in a whole lot of ways. There'll be a digital copy to this. Activate Your Vision actually had a guide, and I am still getting views on that guide on issue now. And it is 1 year and 10 days out from last year, when actually 2 weeks, 1 year and 2 weeks. So, that is a beauty. Everybody was excited about that alone, but the fact that this is going to be a book, in addition to it, we'll roll into that now. We are going to allot you 10 copies. Now, most of the anthology that I've seen or that people offer for me to be in, when I asked about the copies, they said that they're available to purchase. And I was like, okay. So, but what about the ones that come with the cost that you charge? And yeah, no, they weren't there. So 10 copies provided. So you've got something to show, you've got something to display, take pictures and all that kind of thing. There will be a promo video. Once we get all of the players that are in, we'll do a promo video before the launch. Then we'll also have a promo video after the launch. That way we can include any other activities that we've done, any other live events, any gatherings, because we have some common cities that we can get to, all of that. Anybody that does an individual book launch or anything, an author signing, we'll include that afterwards, because the object is this is going to run all of next year with support behind it. The other thing that happens with it is that you're going to get a podcast interview. You'll have an individual podcast interview, and then those will come out in batches. There'll be 4 batches of interviews that will get dropped as part of this massive series. So there'll be like 13 women in each. So in the months of April, May, June, and July, there will be a batch of podcasts that are going to be dropped. Now, the interviews for those will happen based on the people that get their information completed first, will be amongst the first to get interviewed for the podcast, and then they'll just go from there. In addition to this, we will have 5 to 7 featured women in this publication that will help carry the exposure, the distribution, and the syndication of the magazine. We know that for a lot of us, we are known, but we're not known, right? We may not have tribes of 20,000 or some of us followers in 6 digits, but for most of us speaking, we are known amongst ourselves, but we're not known. So we are going to elicit the assistance of some women that are already known in a few industries to help carry this publication. As we get the official yeses for this, you all will be first notified, and then we will add those people into the public social media so that others will know that these people are going to be inside of this publication. Social media and marketing will be very strong 2 weeks before launch, and then 4 weeks after launch. And then that will carry us into the podcast, which then will be promoted for those next 4 months. And then that takes us into the latter part of the year, which we'll consider having some other activities. But at this time, they're not being obligated, but just know that that's probably what's going to happen. And of course, the last thing on the item for me is the fact that we are definitely going for bestseller with this baby. I feel like I've been holding my right to be a bestseller for that perfect publication, that perfect thing, and not just to say that I was part of something. At a point, I have been an affiliate for several, including good old HR is Sexy out there, bestseller. So Enisha, do you want to give any words about that? Because this is definitely more your wheelhouse with all of the publications that you have pushed through for your clients.
Yeah, so I mean, we know the goods are going to be there to make this super successful, and we know it's a group effort to push those numbers, but you've got the right team behind you and the right consultants and experts to make sure that we are getting those accolades so that you can add that one more big title to, to the media kit. You'll be a bestseller as being part of this, because, this team knows the strategies to make sure that happens.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, so the question now is, what's the investment? What's the investment? If I can get you to drop in the chat, if you have been offered to be part of an anthology, if you ran an anthology or you were part of an anthology, a book anthology, because there have been some audio anthologies as well, drop in the price that you were quoted to be part of this anthology. I want to see some numbers. I want to see if my market, I'm the market person, the market research was right, because we did the market research behind this. We asked people questions. So nobody's been part of it. Okay. Maximum 2,500 was, all right, Gia. All right. Anisha, 45.99. You're on Prices Right. Anybody
Wasn't sure.
else?
I didn't want to go higher or lower. It was like,
Yeah.
While we're putting that in, I want to add something real quick.
Sure.
That was missed in between you and Enisha, which you all did an amazing job with all the deliverables and everything. But how many of you have seen the blue verified tick on Facebook or IG, some of the other places, and have wanted it? How do you get it? Like all of those things. What many people don't know is that one of the ways to get that tick is because they search you. They search how many publications you've been in. They search how many times you have been on TV or interviewed or mentioned and all of those things. So this is another way to increase the ability for you to become verified. It's as many link backs as you have to original articles or publications for yourself. It's easier for them to verify you, to show, yeah, see, Tiffany saw the blue check, submitted twice, no luck. Yep. So as many publications as you can be in, and then us pushing to be on bestseller, that's just going to amplify that. So I wanted to add that's another part of the social strategy, is to be able to use that to become verified. So sorry, I just wanted to interject that real quick before we get to the meat and the bones of these ridiculous, what did you say, $4,500 for the anthology? Yeah.
So I appreciate that, because I have mentioned that. I mentioned that in the clubhouse room, right? So for that recording, but not for this one. So I've added that to the official checklist, because that's huge. That's huge. I just did a workshop this week, on getting on publications. In one of the main items for it was, where have you been seen before? I'm like, look, I'm trying to get seen now. That's why. So this is definitely the best opportunity for that. And I know I have collected my links from Black Women Mean Business and Ellese and Co. So I have my URLs. And so I'm like, yes, my URLs. All right. So you're getting them from the publication. You'll get them from podcast episodes. You'll have one from there. And then I'm sure we'll have some others. We're working on some things in the background to with some larger companies. Since we've got 52, right? We're going to try to do everything that we can do. And we know that some of these things will take some months. So hopefully the fall session will be filled by some other activities behind us. All right. So we've got as high as $45.99 on The Price is Right. And then we've got, all right. Thank you, Enisha. Everybody, love to Enisha.
See you guys later. See you guys inside of the project. Thanks so much for joining us here today. And I can't wait to make beautiful layouts with all of your faces.
Yay. All right, so and then as low as we've got 1,500 in here. And then of course we know, again, I don't know if those were in full color. I don't know if they were on semi-gloss paper. I don't know how many pictures you actually had in it, because the last two anthologies, I got to submit a headshot that was going to be sort of in color, and that was it. So I don't know if there were links to, go ahead, Jasmin.
Oh, I said, and the directory.
Right, the directory. I don't know if there were pages included in that. I don't, landing pages. I don't know if there was an opportunity for you to give up a CTA and to be able to change it over a period of a year at your own convenience. I don't know if there were any copies that were included with that project either. But I'm gonna say that I did my homework. Yeah, it was sort of color, because when I saw the publication when it came out, I was like, y'all needed Enisha, because the pictures, the resolution was bad. There was a selfie in, anyway, this is on recording, so keeping it clean. So we did our homework and we figured out that if I didn't do hardly anything else, and that this was a major baby for Jasmin, and that Enisha had two people that were designated to work on this project out of her agency, that we could keep the costs down. And then the costs that I had been told were from $1,500 to $5,000 for anthology. The one that was at $1,250 was a semi-audio with some kind of something out on it. But we're bringing this to you at 1K, at 1K. And then I wanted to give back to the power partners that have been hanging with me and with Jasmin for the entire year that it has been. So know that as a power partner, please make sure that you actually DM Jasmin and she will right here while you're on, and she'll send you your code to use. So you'll get a discount. Yes, 1K, and it's insane. Delmar, you know that even in having a conversation with Crystal Cunningham, this would not have flown. Like, she already gave a larger price. I went to somebody else to see if they would project manage the project, and they would not do it because we weren't charging enough. And so we have come inside the budget by putting our own labor into it for the most part. And we have a project manager that is Jasmin's friend and has worked on the Dear Skinny Friend project with us, has come in and worked on another project. She knows what she's doing. We have the marketing all lined up right now, you know, ready to blast this out. So that is what we're doing. And so we just hope that, one, you see the value in it. And for 52 women, if you've done or been part of an anthology before, and there were 15 to 20 of you, and you took the bad boy to, you know, bestseller in the 24, 48 hours, then kudos to them, you've already done it. So now just imagine double that baby down with 52. And why 52? Because originally it was 50 at the beginning of the year. But I wanted to make sure there was 1 week of the year represented by each one of us, so that people say the 52, we could literally in the year of 2023 redrop each woman as a feature, you know, and if we can get a larger brand to pick us up, then that would be absolutely phenomenal. So we are doing ads, because that's the next thing, and I need to add that to my list though. We are doing ads. So if you have products, if you have events coming up next year, we're going to say summer and past, then you can definitely use the ad space. It is $300. Again, Enisha almost like wanted to break my arm over the screen. $300 for a full page, y'all, and $500 for a 2-page spread. So that is to make sure that, first of all, we are getting our brands in front of the people that are going to have this magazine, first opportunity to us before we bring in sponsors from the outside or ad space taken up from the outside. So if you're interested in that, then make sure when you do the intake form, there is a note section. So, and I might be able to go in and edit that now, actually, to add that. Are you interested in an ad? But yes, that is what we're going, blowing and flowing with. So just know that I am putting all of me into this. And for those of you that have seen me, if I've been an affiliate, an ambassador, just a cheerleader for you, if you've seen me out here in these streets, then you know that I will back it in the fact that there are going to be 52 women. The engagement is going to be crazy. So one of the things that we're going to do from the social media or marketing side is we will establish either a portal or probably a Facebook group, and then have the content in there. We'll make it a social or a learning style so that we can put things into the files, so that the script, the copy is in there, that you'll have images in there as we get the contributors photos and pages done or badges done. We'll have those in there for you to grab. And if you were doing something in collaboration with somebody else, then you will have theirs to work with too. All right, so the questions are coming in and this is great. So there is a 2-pay option. So you can pay one price or you actually can pay in 2 installments. Jay, you want to talk a little bit more about that? Because you set that up, the behind the scenes girl.
Yeah, not a problem. So yeah, we have a 1-pay option or a 2-pay option. With the 1-pay option, it's just due when you sign up. The 2-pay option, you will make a deposit for the first half of the payment, and then 30 days later, the second payment will be due. And then if you are a part of the Power Partners, your discount will be taken off of each of the payments. And so those will be processed automatically. Our system bills automatically as soon as your 30 days hits. And so that's how that will work. There was something else about payments I was going to say before you, and I just forgot. Tiffany, you asked what the SRP for the copies are after your 10 original author copies. That is still, we don't have the base for that yet, but it's gonna be somewhere between $13 to $15. We just need to know how many ad spaces are sold and whatnot so that we can get that bottom line for you. But we're working to keep it as economical as possible for those copies.
Yeah, we're going to do everything we can to help drive the prices down. And then retail on it right now, we're looking at full retail at like $29.99. So, and we're going to work, we're still getting more input about those, checking out, doing some more research. But that was the idea, that was the goal for it. And then of course, you know, when we do the initial promotion on it, that there will be lower cost. But go ahead, Jasmin.
I just remembered. If you know you're in and you still need a little bit of time to make the payments, when you go to the website, there is a button to sign up for the wait list. When you click that button, we'll go ahead and take your intake information and we'll put you on a list. We'll send you all of the updates with what's going on with the project, how many more seats are available. So that way, you know, when we're getting close to the 52, okay, I need to go ahead and get this submitted, or, you know, whatever the case may be, so that you're not out of the loop there. We wanted to make it as easy as possible, you know, for everybody to be able to participate no matter where you are, you know, in this moment. So if you know you're in and you just don't have that 2-pay option available right now today, just know that you can still go click that button so that you can get the updates.
Perfect, thank you for that. Date wise, target date right now, y'all know this is a massive project. And so the target date that we're working with right now is to be available by the first week in March, so that we can actually have it out for National Women's History Month. So that is the goal. And I believe that we'll be on target. With listing the deliverables that we need and getting those in, the sooner the better, of course, because we'll need to submit these for publishing to Enisha in batches. So it will take for a group of people to have all of their stuff in first, and then we'll get that submitted off to her. And then, you know, as they're completed, we'll review them and hopefully get that all taken care of. All of the documents and deliverables to us, and this is even based on the last people that are coming in, are about the end of the month. So the end of December. So we expect to have everything in so that we can get that all reviewed as one, get the layout reviewed, make sure the submission, because sometimes with Amazon, the uploading, you know, they come back and say the formatting that's off on this, well, you'll need to do it this way. And so we want to make sure we can clear that time. Of course, we will be live before we actually get the copies, most likely. So strongly depending on that. And then the magazine, the digital copies of it will be on lock though. So I know that was another question. People will not be able to download it with the digital copy. They will be able to see and flip the pages, but they won't be able to download it, especially because we're selling it. But in the early days of that, that's going to be helpful. So any other questions right now? I'm excited. I'm excited at the faces that I see. I'm excited about the industries. I'm excited about the people that are on here that already do the work, because this project is, you may see in some places invitation only, and you'll say, but the flyer's out in public space though, how is that invitation only? Not everybody will be accepted to this project. There is energy up in these parts. We're going to be very protective of our energy. This is 52 women. That is already a feat. And so we need to make sure that we are on point with the people that are part of this project, and that we will be able to deliver for each and every one equally, and that everybody will support everybody else, because we've had some projects before and some people were part of the project and reaped the benefits and didn't do the work. So, glancing, that's part of the social media, and seeing your social media, like, are you posting? Are you posting for you? Right? It's about you first. So if you're not doing the work for you, now I know some people are driven by giving service, right? And then maybe more likely to somebody, I would probably say more likely to do it if somebody else is involved, or, but this is going to be about you. And we're going to help support each and every one of you with some social media strategies. We are going to be, as we put the names together, and if people are asking about speaking engagements on virtual and physical stages, we'll make the recommendations. And how easy is it to do? Because we already have bios. We've got bios and we've got websites for you, so we can make those initial recommendations. We'll get the podcast done. And then of course, if we can get some, brands, this is another reason for the podcast being put off. If we can get the podcast series sponsored, each one of those by a different brand or somebody to sponsor the whole thing, then that's even better for us. So we're going to nurture this baby. 52 weeks of next year. People are asking me, how are you going to obligate yourself for 52 weeks to do something and get behind something? It's easy when it's part of you. You're not getting behind it. It's inside of you. So I carry it with me. Okay. Well, right.
Can you repeat some of the dates that you was saying was I heard March and then I heard December. As far as some deadlines to get, was it payment or was it to get the content to you? I wasn't
okay. Yeah, thank you. And then I will make sure you'll get an email, follow-up email with these dates and also the deliverables in it after the intake form is done. And then there'll also be a landing page that'll go up with these things on it too, and only accessible to the people that have either paid or opted into it. The first date was the end of December. So December 30th, I believe, was the date that all of your assets need to be in. And it's not a difficult group of things. The most difficult is probably going to be what CTA are you going to have. But again, doing the link tree, you already have a socio-tap. So giving that link is going to be easy. And then the others are your short bio, which everybody on here already has a bio, and then the long bio. And this is just where we may want some modification, because it can be your long bio, but it also can be an adaptation of that speaks to your nonprofit organization or a movement that you may be carrying during 2022, or in honor to. So this is your opportunity to express yourself. I see you, Gia. And then that, again, a reminder that long bio is 300 to 500 words. And then the short bio is 50 to 70 or 75. And that is on the intake form too. I attempted to make sure that I added those things, 300 DPI for the pictures, 3 to 5 of them. Go ahead, Jasmin.
Oh, no, you're fine. I was just gonna respond to Gia and let everybody know that we have tools and resources to help if you do need assistance with your long bios as well. So, you know, we will have some support there as well for that.
And if you can just touch on again, the monetary part as far as last payment due. I know you had spoken to me about that.
Yeah, so the first payment will be, if you do the 2-pay, the first payment will be due when you sign up. And then we'll be able to collect all of your assets so we can start pushing forward with that. The last payment will be due 30 days after that. Now, if you end up waiting until February to sign up and make that first payment, if there are still spots available, then we will, right.
Closing
There
out
will-
December, look, I'm claiming it. December 30th, there will be no new entries. There will be
But
no new
there-
entries. When I go to Clubhouse, I will go to Clubhouse and headhunt. I just want to make sure that my inside circle has first opportunity, but I will go headhunt over on Clubhouse to fill the slots because publication can't wait. We can't have the delay in having all the documents in to get them to them to lay out and to do what they got to do. So yeah, sorry about that.
There you
but-
heard it. There is no waiting until February, you know. We plan on having this filled by the end of December. And any payments that would be made that first week in December, then that will be the cutoff for being able to do the 2-pay, just because of having to have everything in and to the publisher so that the layout can be completed and we can get all of the copies ordered. So, you know, this is a little more fast-paced moving because it's not, you know, a 6-page chapter and there's a lot of creative that has to go into it. So yeah, that's how the payments will work, but you'll have 30 days. If you sign up today, you'll have 30 days from today to make that second payment, and it automatically bills out.
And then again, the date for the target date is March 1st. So we know that there may be things right now, we're doing all right with the pandemic and all of that. So, but if there are any twists with that, with paper, with printing, with something, then please just bear the grace behind it. This will be a forever product. You will have the digital, you will have the physical copies, and these will live on your table, on your mama's table, on your children's table. Somebody has something to look back and say, hey, this person was in there. And so this is part of the legacy that's being left behind. The bulk of the money is going towards the social media, the graphic design, the marketing, the layouts, the publishing, and Enisha is doing this at bare minimum cost for us. So just to know, also, there'll be some other opportunities that will come from the three of us as far as membership availability and, you know, a free month here for this, reduced price for that, to aid in helping you elevate yourself to do the best you can from the areas where we have the expertise. We also have access to a couple of other experts, so we may have master classes available, and this is all throughout next year that are going to be exclusive to the Power of 52. So there's more to come. These are just the deliverables with your 1K. So and with that, we'll take any final questions, last call for questions inside the, let's see, my personal oracle reading today had legacy in it. Talk about divine. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And I am going to order my, yeah, Tiffany, we need a sponsor so we can get everybody the new scent of that's coming out. We need everybody to have that too. But any other questions? All right. All minds and hearts clear? Yes, yes, I did. Yes, I did. And so that's why I'm going to make sure that that information goes out. Okay, yeah, no, for everybody. Everybody. So unless you sent something else, but All right, thank you, Delmar. Thank you so much. And yep, so look forward to emails. Oh, this is the last disclaimer right now, y'all, is that I'm working on a new system, not on, so Jasmine's still on Kartra, and that's where my life was before for Activate Your Vision. I'm on a new platform now. So that was why there was no automatic email that went out. I'm doing this stuff manually. I will make sure that you get the information as long as I have your information. But just bear with me with the whole funnel process, workflow, automations, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, so, you know, okay. Renee said she'd like to follow everybody and get jump started with that now. So what platform, Renee, would you like them to drop? Everybody here is on both Facebook and Instagram. So if you just tell us which platform, then they can drop.
Instagram.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
So y'all, if you'll drop your IG handles in here, everybody can grab those, pick those up and start the connection now. And even if you decide that from today, you don't know if you want to do this, you're not sure yet, then I'm going to ask that you think about, as you go up and down the internet streets, in and out of Clubhouse, in the rooms on Green Room, and inside of groups, who do you know that would be a good fit for this? This is part of your energy, right? So just claim that you were having to work with them side by side. So know that first before you make the recommendations. Let me know and I will extend the personal invitation to them from you. So now you can tell them too, but I will definitely, if you let me know, I will extend a personal invitation to them and even do possibly a 15-minute info walkthrough of this information, because this at an hour is a long piece and I forgot that I was supposed to stop it and then start it back up. So we may be able to chop and screw it, but just make sure that you're doing the referrals and be honest with yourself. What kind of energy would you like to see around you? What kind of industries do you think should be represented inside of this book? What countries may help put us on the map with something like this? Are there any businesses that you know of that would love to sponsor or looking to give up that end of the year money? Because there is sponsorship money available still from 2020, and some budgets, of course, have been allocated for 2021. I mean, sorry, from 2021, and some budgets have been allocated for 2022. If you have a business, then of course, the first thing to do would be to go ahead and get an ad for yourself, 300 or 500, single full page or 2-page spread. And then the next would be, we'll have the sponsorship deck available within the next 10 days or so. So that you'll have that as a reference point. Want to try to get in as many people as possible, because it's going to speak to the audience that we're going to be able to tap into. And for some of these sponsors, it's about your reach, so how many people are we reaching, and then who is that audience? And so that's it. Thank you everybody for showing up. We're going to go ahead and close this mug out. I appreciate it. Out there in the streets, hashtag the power of 52. So if you're looking forward to words to use now, if you enjoyed the session and you want to, make that more known out there in general, feel free to grab the banner, I'll drop a graphic inside of the event or inside of a marketer's lounge too that you can pull, and then, put that out there and hashtag power 52. And of course, we'll be grabbing those. I got the analytics queen over here that'll be checking those hashtags and saying, hey, so-and-so's out there promoting. So, all right, everybody. Peace out on behalf of the presented by, powered by, and published by. We are out. Love y'all.
Bye.